Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Everton have just beat Fleetwood Town 1-0 in the Carabao Cup, and that's about all I can say about it. No, it was an absolute typical second round of the Carabao Cup for Everton. We played a mixture of squad players, a mixture of new signings. For once, we actually played some kids, which is quite unusual for Everton. And some players that have started. No different than last season against Huddersfield and every year before that. I think the year before that was actually Fleetwood, wasn't it? It just wasn't a very good game at all, was it? It wasn't a very good game. Decided by a player who shouldn't even have been on the pitch, because Tom Davies was due to start and Damari Gray started instead. One mistake, and a couple of passes later, and he's put it in, and it's 1-0. But yeah, it was just what you expect at this time of year. I mean, you'd love it to be better. You'd love it to be a bit classy. You'd love it to be a bit of a hammering. But unfortunately, it wasn't. And we've got our first win of the season, and we have to be happy with that. But it does highlight all the issues. Let's be honest, it really does highlight all the issues we've got with the squad. Rondon up front, obviously, is the main standout. He was poor. He doesn't give you much at all. He doesn't give you much of anything. He was very, very disappointing tonight against defenders who he should be handling. And that in itself is not really the issue, that he's had a bad game. The issue is that is our backup and also our starting striker at the moment. And Everton have got to do something about that, because if we don't do something about that, then we will be in the bottom three at the end of the season. I guarantee you, if we don't do something about that, because that's just not good enough at all. For him to be a backup striker and you can't fully rely on your main striker, that is a major issue. And all the talk about players coming in and going, I don't care. Go and get me a striker. Go and get me two. Go and get me a striker and a goal-scoring winger or midfielder. Because that's a major, major problem we've got at the moment. A major, major problem. If they don't solve it by a week Thursday, 8 days, then we've got big problems. We have got big problems ahead of us this season. So that has to be sorted out. Other little disappointing things. Dwight McNeil, garbage. He was garbage. I don't really care what anyone, thinks he was garbage tonight. Very, very disappointing. Onana, yeah, he was so-so. They targeted them. They hit him with some heavy tackles. Welcome to England kind of tackles that in this tournament you always seem to get away with. Always get away with it. It's very, very strange that the referees don't try and play up to the standard. They play down to the standard. So it's just like, it's sound. You can just get away with booting people all over the place, because that's what we do in League 1 or 2 or whatever. It's every year it happens. And it's a joke, to be fair. So it's difficult to gauge this game tonight. It was difficult to gauge his night, just because, again, I'd like to have seen Tom Davies having a little bit more and maybe having someone in there a bit more defensive minded and allowing him to push forward. But we didn't, and the person who replaced him was the goal scorer. Just on him, it's good that he scored in the last 2 games. Real good confidence booster. Let's see him grow now. Been a lot of question marks about him in the last 6 months. But it's great that he's got back-to-back goals, and that'll give him, because this team really doesn't have goals in it. So it was good that he scored tonight, and that's good for his confidence, and he has to keep that going. Iwobi, best player on the pitch by a mile. I mean, just like the confidence is flowing through the lad. Best player by a mile, just everywhere, all over the pitch. Just miles better than everybody else on the pitch. Everyone else was. You looked at everyone else, and players coming into the team or whatever. There wasn't too many players. You just had a calm night. He was excellent, and probably has saved us some money, but in the role he plays, even though we've already wasted that money on Dwight McNeil. So yeah, he was excellent. He was excellent tonight, and it was good to see. It was good to see, the young lads getting a game as well. The contributions were here and nil there, really, in terms of them doing anything. Reece Welch and Warrington and Stanley Mills coming on. They were, Lewis Warrington always wants the ball. I really like that about him. He always wants the ball. He goes back to the defence and asks for it, and then starts trying to play passes. Mills very competitive, and Welch did all right. So good to see Frank Lampard trusting young players, because as I said before, we don't often tend, because in the last few years our squads have been so ridiculously bloated that we've played a lot of the squad players in these games, rather than the youngsters, and it was good to see three on there tonight. Good to see three given a go. Vinagre, nah. I'd like to see him put more crosses into the box, but he's fine. Good to see Coleman getting the full game under his belt. Patterson did all right. Tarkowski came up on the end just to shore up. I mean, they had more. Funny enough, I think they had more shots on target than we did. But we were never going to lose the game. We never looked. There was a little spell in the second half for 5 minutes or so. That was it. You know what I mean? They never really troubled us. But our final ball, and obviously around the box, Patterson had a decent effort in the second half, and obviously McNeil's had a shocker of a miss in the first half, and it's hard, isn't it? Because Vinagre, people will say, "Oh, he's had a terrible game," but that's his first start in an Everton shirt. It's difficult. It's difficult. You come into a new team and you've been on the bench, and that's your first start, and you can say that about Onana as well. These players need game time, and that's that. To be honest, I used to stress about playing. Why we need to play our best team. I don't really stress about it now, because that team tonight, the manager puts it out. It should win. It did win. It wasn't a great game, but it won. It done it. And Onana's got minutes now. Vinagre's got minutes now. Welsh has got game time. Coleman's got game time. So from that point of view, you go, we've won the game, and people have got get a game under their belt, and that's all that really matters at this stage. And I know a lot of the time, and I've been guilty of it myself. You go and just batter these, make an example of them. But from the manager's point of view, he's like, I need to get him minutes, I need to get him minutes, and I need to get him minutes. And actually, it's nice that Frank Lampard budded some of the youngsters, as I said, as well, because. And also he's kept, Holgate hasn't had to go on, Michalenko hasn't had to go on, Anthony Gordon hasn't had to go on, which is nice with Chelsea or Spurs or whoever. No, only messing. So they haven't had to play, so that's good as well. Jordan Pickford's not involved, Connor Cody's not involved, so their legs are saved. Obviously, there is the issue of Tom Davies, how bad that injury is. I mean, he's done it in the warm-up, so I can't imagine it's too bad. Sometimes what happens is players do have injuries in the warm-up and they just can't be assessed. So it's a case of, no, you're not playing. And especially in a game like that tonight, don't take the risk. So it is what it is. It's not great. It's a win. We're through to the next round. Hopefully we get a nice little cushy home number. Don't want QPR away like last year, somewhere. Some long journey away when you just want a nice little cushy home one. And that's it. I'm not. Listen, we know what the issues are. The issues are we need a centre forward and we need someone else who can score goals. They were the issues on Saturday, and they're the issues today. They're not any different. And so get that sorted, Everton, because if you don't get it sorted, we are in a huge amount of trouble, and that's got nothing to do with tonight. It's to do with the bigger picture. But tonight and the performance by Rondon and how poor we were in the final third, that just shows it. So tough game Saturday against Brentford. A few players have had a chance to be rested. Let's see what happens ultimately. We know what we need, and we have to go and get it. So there you go. I'll be doing my player ratings, which will be difficult because it's just like a weird, slow, rubbish game. And Baz will be doing his video, so make sure you check out them. Thanks for watching. We'll be doing the final word tomorrow live on Toffee TV Premier, so make sure you catch that as well. If you're not a Toffee TV Premier, become one. The link is in the description, and it'll be on the screen in a moment. See you later.